Tonight you're simply going to be responsible for listening to me talk a little bit about an overview of the Anglo-Saxon period and give you some information that I feel is necessary for you for class tomorrow and for the coming week. What I want you to do is just take a couple of notes on the following slides. It's only going to be about a 5-minute presentation. And then you're going to be responsible to look up a couple of things, a couple of terms and ideas after we're done. Okay? So what you need to know here are some of the notes that I've typed out for you, and I'm not going to read them to you. I'm expecting you to take some notes and read through that. And if you need to, you can obviously go back through this PowerPoint and listen to this. And reread the material if necessary. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the photos though on the page. First one is a photo of Stonehenge, and what I want you to do, and we'll talk a little bit more about this in class, but I want you to look up what exactly you think Stonehenge might have been used for. And if you do, well, when you do, what you're going to do is look at on Google and just research that way. That's the easiest. But one thing I can tell you is that these stones are bluestone, and they each weighed about 250 tons apiece. One of the mysteries historians have found is that they really don't know how they were moved to their specific location. But there are all sorts of ideas for what this area named Stonehenge might have been used for, and that's what I want you to figure out through Google. The second picture here down on the right, that's called Hadrian's Wall. It was a defense mechanism created by the Romans. And I would like you to kind of look up a little bit more information about that as well. So far, you're taking some notes, you're looking up some info on Stonehenge, and you're going to look up some information on Hadrian's Wall and take some notes on both of those things. What we want to talk about now, obviously, is what we're going to be most concerned with, which is the Anglo-Saxons. And they take over in 449. And actually, Britain at the time had been kind of vacated, if you will, which left them very susceptible for invasion. And the Anglos came in, the Saxons came in here in the green, and then the Jutes came from the north and came in and around. For some reason, they weren't lucky enough to have their name added to Anglo-Saxons. I guess it didn't work out phonetically. So it goes, and we have the Anglo-Saxons. One of the other things that I want you to look up once I'm done here talking to you guys is to look up the role of the scop. You may know what that is already, okay? You may not. But they were very integral parts of the Anglo-Saxon period. And we're going to talk a lot more about that, but I want you to have a basic understanding of what they did. Okay, one of the other things we'll talk about is religion as we look at the Anglo-Saxons. Initially, they were pagans, and they believed in the concept of animism, which was discussed on the first slide there. But what happens actually in about a 300-year period is that Christianity spreads. And we're going to talk about why that happened and how that happened. One of the major components was that you have Irish monks spreading that Christian word throughout much of Britain. And obviously the Anglo-Saxons were quite resistant to that change, but eventually they do kind of embrace that change. And we get that beginnings of the Christian religion in Britain. And then last but certainly not least, as far as we talk about the overview, we're going to talk about who defeated them. And they were defeated in 1066 at the Battle of Hastings. William the Conqueror led the Norman army to defeat them. Put a little lovely photo of him. And a tapestry, which was very, very famous at the time period. To do tapestries was kind of a piece of artwork, obviously, referencing that battle. If you are looking for any more information, I've taken much of this from the book, and you can reference pages 4 through 17. And we will be going through a little more background information as well in class. But basically what you need to have for tomorrow is some notes taken on these slides, some notes on Stonehenge of your own research, some notes on Hadrian's Wall, again of your own research, and what do you think a scop is and what was his or her role, mostly his role, in the Anglo-Saxon society. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow.